Hi, I'm here today with Joe in Joe's studio actually, and he's a great wedding and portrait photographer. I guess you do other sorts of photography as well, but I would imagine that's your main bread and butter, is it?
Yeah, mainly weddings, not so much portraits, but mainly weddings. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You need to look at his website. I'll have a link down below in the comments section. Really good. But today we're talking about this little baby, the Sony A7iii. Now, I lent this to Joe a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So you've not had a great deal of time to play with it, have you?
No, not really. But I wanted to have a little play with it because coming from Canon before, I just wanted to see now the wedding season.
But you still use your Canons, though, don't you?
Oh yeah. That's what I use for my jobs and things. But I just thought I would try and test out the different, focusing systems on the kids and things like that, and give it a bit of a whirl, and just to see if it could be a viable option to change from what I'm using at the moment.
As a spoiler alert, what are you before we get into this? What do you reckon?
I think I'm going to change, if I'm honest. Yeah, I do. I just think
I've convinced you.
Yeah, there are some positives, but there are a lot of.
Well, interestingly, this particular video is actually being filmed on my new camera, which is the Fuji X-T3, and I actually might be moving some of my kit over to Fuji. There's a bizarre thought, isn't it?
Well, if you want to get rid of this, let me know.
No, I won't be getting rid of that. Definitely won't be getting rid of. Well, I say definitely. I want to see what this is like. This is the first time we filmed on the X-T3, so I'm hoping it actually is any good. Looking at the monitor, it looks okay, and it is in low, fairly low light, because we're only using modelling lamps in the studio. These aren't proper. We're not using proper video lights. It's quite low light. Would you say that 60-watt bulbs are they?
Yeah, it's low.
It's low.
Not ideal, but it's just what we're doing. It's what we're doing, in a hurry.
It's a good test on this, isn't it, to see how good this works in low light. So anyway, back to the A7iii. Your focus on it, then. Let's start with what everyone always talks about with these mirrorless cameras. What's the focus like? Autofocus, I mean.
Autofocus is really good. As everybody talks about, it is that good. And I've messed around with the tracking and everything, and with the kids and things, and it really is that good.
It's
ridiculous how good it is. To me, as a wedding photographer, my main thing is the eye focus, and I know a lot of people are talking about you don't need eye focus. You genuinely don't.
No.
But whereas before, say I wanted to get a nice shot down on a bride, and I'd be stood up on a chair to get a nice shot down. And I'd have to check that because I'll be shooting shallow, 2.8, maybe that's maybe wider. But with this, I know that I could just lift it above my head, shoot down, and then press that eye focus button, and I know I don't even have to check.
It's good, isn't it?
One of the best things I really like about it, from my point of view, is you're essentially seeing the photo before you take it. What it's done for me really is it's helped me. I mean, I haven't used it at a wedding yet, so I have to say that. But I'm looking forward to using it at a wedding. I started actually shooting with the EVF on my Fuji X100, and I found it was a great way to change from my way of shooting like this, and I cramp up like this, and I hold, and I have to be steady and secure with my Mark IVs, my 5D Mark IV, etc. But with this camera, it's just very relaxed, and basically it's a different way of shooting. I did shoot a little business gathering that I went to, and this was just great. The shooting down like this, waist level, like that, it was just, nobody has a clue with the silent shutter and everything. Well, the main thing that it has for me is the focus for the video. This is what I mean. For video, it has the stabilization, which my other cameras lack.
Which the X-T3 doesn't have in-body stabilization.
Okay. Well, this has the in-body stabilization, and it has the tracking focus, which my Mark IV does have, but it's not to the level of this. So for video, that's why I want it, because I also shoot video at weddings as well. For my needs, I would say the stabilization for the video is great. The tilt screen is great, and I'm not saying other cameras don't have these features, they all do. I'm not fussed about 4K or anything like that. 60 frames per second I do need. The silent shutter is a massive one for a wedding photographer. Double card slots. But with this, I mean, I'm not even going to say about the lightness of it. I mean, I'm not a wimp. I can carry around I could carry around 2 5Ds all day at a wedding. I'm 35, I'm strong enough to do that, but it's just really light. It's freeing to not have my hold fast with 2 big cameras and I could see myself shooting it with just 1 camera the majority of the day.
Well, I've got an idea.
Go on.
Right. Let's get outside, get a few shots of Darren. He doesn't know that, but we're going to get some shots of our second cameraman and some shots in here. So how about that? So we see how you get on with actually using it. Well, not in a real, kind of a real life environment. Should we get going?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Agil's done this a few times, so I don't need to tell him what to do, which is good. Well, it's just the thing is, it's just capturing his face every time, so I really don't need to think about it too much. So this is a great example of right now. What I'm about to do is a low shot, okay? So I just want to come down like this and shoot up. Yeah. Now, before, to get this type of shot, I'd be laying on the floor. Yeah. I literally would be laying on the floor. And I can still see I can still see, I don't know if you can, you probably can't see that, but to get this type of shot, oh, it's also rotating. To get this type of shot, I would be laying on the floor to get that perspective. And again, I don't even need to, I press,
you're not shooting on the floor though?
I put the camera on the floor without me on the floor.
Right.
Normally I'd be looking through and I'd be on the floor to get it.
Right.
Yeah? So if you jump back a second. Adil, do me a favour, just walk from that way to that way. But listen, I'm going to shoot with the cup here. Go on, ready? Just walk, and then when I whistle, look at me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Yeah. Nice little bit of movement going on there. Nice, let's get in. I'm going to do a few close-ups now. If you stay here, Adil. What I'm going to do now is just a few more close-up ones, blur the back out a little bit. We don't really have enough room here because of the car, but what I like to do is use the crop. So I use the crop to give me that little bit more compression on the background, which I love actually. It's really great. And just look down to the floor there, Adil. Cool. Come in for a real nice tight crop here. Now I'm probably overshooting this a little bit. I don't need to overshoot because I see the photo before I take it. I know if any highlights are blown, I can see everything that I need to see before I, because Agil's sponsored by the brand that he's doing here, I'm just going to take a couple of close-ups in case they want to use it for something. Try and showcase. Now the light here is pretty flat. It's coming from this direction on him. I can see if you turn your face to here, Agil. To this way with my hand here. That's it like that. Yep, hold that a second. Now I'll be shooting into the shadow side of the face here. And just relax your forehead a little bit. There we go, just nice. And then eyes to me. Cool. Nice, let's move on. So this is like a classic example of I just found a little doorway. The light is okay, it's just flat lighting really. It's coming from up down in this direction. I'm literally just shooting this because it looks more like a his style that he's got is a bit more street, so I'm going to go with this sort of vibe here. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, so first thing I do is just hold the camera up and I can see just above him is a little bit blown out. So all I'm going to do is just above the, so take the crop off actually, nice and wide, just hold. It's a little bit under, but I'd rather retain the highlights there. So I'm going to try and go for something a little less obvious again. Look down that way, Agil. There you go. And then something a bit more symmetrical within the door. And looking to me, Agil. There you go. Looking down. Okay, now I'm going to go for a sort of, I wouldn't normally do this with a guy because I just wanted to sort of showcase how easy it is to just pop your arm up and shoot down and get a little bit of a different perspective. Can you squat down like this for me, Adil, here? In fact, can you do it by here, by these yellow lines here? Yeah, so, and then just look up towards me here. Yeah, so I like this. So, don't get me wrong, guys. These are not award-winning images or anything. It's just, I'm just shooting, just showing you the functions of the camera and showing you how I would kind of work a little bit. So while he's down there, keep it this way. See, this is habit. I just did that then. Drop to a knee and I put my eye up to take a photo to compose it, but I really don't need to. I'm really quite comfortable just shooting like that. It's a lot less stress than this. If you watch my body, as soon as I go into this mode, everything tenses up and you can relax, but everything tenses up to keep the camera tight. It's not, that's what I think drains me more on a wedding day with a DSLR. It's not the weight of it, it's the whole all the time to making sure the camera's nice and steady, locking the elbow in and thing. I never shoot DSLR like this anyway, but I'm finding myself shooting it like this. I would always shoot a DSLR this way to keep the elbow in portrait mode. Again, I'm just going to go crop mode and get a tighter crop here of him. I'm going to even come in close. I'm just going to try this. So look, I'm just shooting here, and look, you get some really nice angles that he wouldn't do. I mean, I wouldn't come into him and do this and shoot like this, but I'm happy, especially like a groom or something. I mean, I wouldn't have a groom squatting down like they're going to take a shit anyway, but with this guy, yeah, you can just get, it's just really easy. Look, it's easy, Bob, look. And that's what I like about it, is that it's one of the things, sorry Agile, yeah, you can jump up. This is what I like about the camera, is that it becomes easy. And anything, I've got enough to think about anyway with composition and moments and timelines on a wedding day. So to get something like this and have it...
So you feel then you can work faster?
Well, yeah, so let's just say this was a wedding, okay? And we've got the bride and groom, and the bride's coming in. If you come over here, Agile, for a second, right? So let's just say this is the groom and the bride is with him, okay? So instantly, I'll just quickly run over what I would do with my camera, okay? Maybe I would go to live view, get the exposure right, or maybe I would just look through and get the metering right, okay? And then I would go, right, okay, let's take a shot. I would look at the image, and then I would say, yeah, okay, I'm on, or I'm just over, just under. Normally I'd be quite on it. And then I go, okay, let's start shooting. And I might go here, and come down here, go over here, run over here, do this. Whereas with this camera, I turn up, I look at the screen, and I just go, is that the composition I want? Yes or no? No, I want to get rid of that. And I'm making the adjustments that I would be making afterwards in camera, if that makes sense. So the crops and things, I'm able to see them, and cool. And then because they're here, then I wouldn't want to move the bride and the groom. So maybe I would have the groom do what he's doing there and bring the bride out a little bit. Sorry, you can go on it, it's fine. Yeah. And then I would just get this like leading line of this wall a little bit. I can see I can already see the distractions in the background of the red bins and things. Whereas before, you might take a shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still see them when you look through the viewfinder, but with the screen, so I quite like this, see, so. Yeah. Again, it's just nice to be able to get a bit more creative with certain shots that I wouldn't have done before. Like this is a nice one here, look. And the touch screen is doing an Agile. Look up here, mate. Yeah, see, I would never have got that shot with I would never have taken. Is it a great shot? Meh, whatever. We're just doing this for example purposes, but my point is that I really like the camera. To be honest, I don't really care that it's a Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fuji. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. What I care about is it's making my job easier. This isn't my actual job, doing portraits on the street with this guy. It's weddings, and I know for a fact, as long as it can keep up with a wedding day, which I'm yet to test, then I know for a fact that it will be a definite change. The one problem I will say that I seem to be having with it is the buffer on the A7 Mark III. It's not that it won't keep taking shots, it will do that. It won't let you access other things while it's writing to the buffer. That's a big one for me. I mean, things like changing to video quickly and things like that. But that's the only real, and the light banding in silent mode, that's a bit of a pain in the backside, if I'm honest. For bridal preps and ceremonies are the 2 times where I only need silent shutter, and that's yeah, that's going to be a decider for me, really. I'm thinking about my possible setup is going to be an A9 and an A7 Mark III. There I don't have to deal with the buffer issue for photos and things, or it may just be 2 A7 Mark IIIs, and then when I shoot one, boom, 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 drop it, hold fast the other one. Kind of defeats the purpose. I want to be nice and light, one camera, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful, showing you how I use the Sony. Ideally, I would like to customize a lot more buttons and things, but I've only borrowed this off Bob and I don't want to do that. When I get my own one, I'll be able to customize it and do a proper video on how I actually shoot a wedding, what I use, and if it actually holds up. All right, that type of stuff. That'd be a great one.
Joe, I really like to thank you for trying out my camera.
Yep.
Now, can I have my camera back?
Yeah, go on. No, yeah, go on, you can have it.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm really pleased you enjoyed using it. I love the camera. Although this has actually been filmed on the Fuji X-T3, I'm really pleased you're enjoying the Sonys. Next time, I'll lend you the X-T3 and you can have a play with that for a couple of weeks.
No, I don't need that. I want to stick with this one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe and hit the like button if you found this video useful. Thanks very much, and there'll be links below to Joe's website. I'd also like to thank Darren. He's been an absolute star. Thanks for being the model. I know you've been dragged in at the last minute and you didn't really know what you were letting yourself in for. So thanks everyone. See you again soon. Bye for now. That'll do the job.
All right. All right.